The scientist in me needed some reasoning, so shifting gears a little bit, I'd like to describe some observations of someone. While adept at flow arts, I would not classify him under the term flow artist. This is Michael Motion. After watching a TED Talk about him and observing the way he learned and explained his technique, I felt it helped to explain some of the ways that flow artists are able to accomplish these mind-bending feats and tap into this flow state. The first step, as I have described, would be to clear one's mind. Try not to think about what's going to happen, and just allow the movement to happen naturally. The next thing Mr. Motion does is observe the geometry and motion of the instrument, paying attention to the pattern it creates. Third, he would discover the rhythm created between the patterns and energy provided to the instrument. His example is gravity and juggling. In his demonstration, he would juggle some balls, first close together, boop, 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 and then he'd move them farther apart, boop, 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 and then closer together, boop, 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 boop. While they maintain the same pattern, the frequency and rhythm change. But this can also be applied to poi with a set beat. You can either speed up the beat or slow the beat, but it still maintains the same pattern. Fourth, required harmonizing his bodily movements to this rhythm, manipulating the objects in different ways, and just exploring the different space around him, and all synchronizing it to rhythm, which probably took quite a bit of practice. And finally, all of this was accomplished and explored through play. This playing was very important to Mr. Motion. To quote him directly, "I never know what I'm working on. They're not ideas, they're instincts. I don't know what it is yet, and that's good. I like to not know, for as long as possible, because then it tells me the truth, instead of me imposing the truth on it." In this process, he doesn't allow his thoughts to impede his flow. He just plays and observes. Focusing on the rhythm aspect of his presentation, which was so amazing to me, because you could take his movements and sync them to even Def Leppard, which has been done by some on YouTube. I'd also like to present a theory of mine. In physics, energy in motion is a wave that has a frequency, or a rhythm. By moving our bodies and manipulation tools to tune into these frequencies, we are in a sense harmonizing with an energy wave. Harmonizing our tools and bodies with this thus creates an expression of an energy wave in flow. Adding to this theory, which by the way needs a lot more scholarly support, and I welcome any sort of criticism, please prove me wrong, I would like to theorize about how quick learning and understanding occurs when we tune into these rhythms. By clearing all other thought and logic-based parts of our mind that like to impose the truth, we are able to concentrate more fully on the pathway of the synapses attuned to our kinesthetic brain, or to our motion. When this motion is put into rhythm, the same pathway is activated over and over and over again. This makes the connection between the synapses really efficient. You can think of learning math as an elementary school student. By repeating the same problem, you're creating an efficient pathway about that problem. This has the potential to create clear and efficient understanding. Creating this stronger understanding is more easily accessed when we don't know what is going to happen and just play. In this sense, we don't have any pre-existing thoughts to impede the discovery and thus reveal the true nature of our tools. On a quick side note, I would like to mention that the creation of slow, synchronous brainwaves is also related to flow, and is described in a 72-page PDF file available from the Institute of Heart and Math. This was suggested reading for the Peace Building, Peace Learning intensive training last summer, and is called Science of the Heart, Exploring the Role of the Human Heart in Performance. Even though some of this theory I feel helps to explain some of the feelings of great understanding and ease, and the harmony with a wave of energy felt in a flow state, it still does not demystify the incredible, timeless, thoughtless, superhuman state that we feel in our flow. My first experience of flow left me full of adrenaline, feeling alive and just absolutely incredible. It happened during a rope dart performance when I was in Indonesia. In the middle of the performance, everything fell away. Time, the audience, even the thoughts about my next movement. All that I saw or was with was the ball of fire at the end of the rope. I was so surprised at the end of the performance when I looked up to find 150 people staring at me. I had no idea that they were there. All I could say was, hi. It was almost like I had lost myself, my individual identity, or maybe discovered a truer, self-awakened into a state of harmony with an energy force much greater than me. While much of this explanation has referred to other things outside my own impressions of flow, that is how I try to understand the world, by attempting to integrate different ideas into one. All these points are how I feel about flow, and I'd like to finish with 3 things. 1. Zen Buddhists have not been able to describe enlightenment with the use of words. Just like enlightenment, a flow state must be felt by the individual, and their understanding of the path is completely individual. However, the destination is shared, like many paths at the bottom of a mountain that lead to the same peak. Number 2, there is no secret ingredient. Just be yourself. Find that energy wave that fits your rhythm. And remember, play. Number 3, maybe by practicing finding our flow with our tools, we can use this concept in other areas of our life, including tuning into other people's flow and creating a greater understanding of our collective consciousness. Lots of people tune into each other's flow through partner dance, where 2 people become one and represent one body form or one media of expression. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is that we should all get together and dance in rhythm like we don't care. Not to mention that I had an existential breakdown once, where I imagined the future of the world, that if we didn't learn and discover about our flow and learn to be in harmony with the energies around us, we would destroy ourselves in selfish interest in our own goals, instead of preserving this life force that exists in everything. So thank you for listening, and I invite any sort of criticism. This is my entry into the Flowtoys competition. However, the discoveries I've made during this, I feel, go beyond this competition, and I would really like to explore this topic more. So any scholars, anyone who has any interest, anyone who wants to prove me wrong, please do, because we can only learn more about this by listening to each other's discoveries. Thank you.